pivot. So, that's not what I wanted to do. I just recalled the program and just wanted to find out where we were.
Nobody at this
But
table
as a-
would
but
ever
as a
say
careful-
that program was not good. It was
Yeah,
a
but
great
as a
program.
careful listener, you guys are saying it was good. You just repeated that it's good.
Yeah.
It's good for the students. It's
Logistically,
beneficial.
I'm here right now,
It requires work. The assigner of work is sitting over here in this seat, and that
though.
seat.
It's more than work.
So if you're going to assign the work,
It's safety of students.
it's true. If you're going to assign the work to do, because it needs to get done, and there's a benefit to it, we should consider doing it. If we're going to just put our head in the sand and say COVID every time that something is good for the kids, or can't do it, or didn't try.
There's also a difference being a
Please don't cut
teacher-
me off, I'm talking for a second.
Oh, sorry.
Rather than our board should direct where we're heading, if you guys have a need, and it sounds like everyone likes the program. So if you're lobbying your district to bring it back and find the right resources, find the right team, that is what this committee meeting's for. That's how this committee works.
But when you weigh it, that's not the biggest thing that we need right now. Yes, it's a good program, but what we need to get settled in our individual building right now. Things have gone chaos because of COVID, and not of anybody's fault here, it's just the world's kind of turned upside down. And as a teacher standpoint, sitting back here and kind of taking on the realm of behaviors as my, not quite expertise, but what I do on a daily basis, is it a good program? Yes, but is it a good program to worry about implementing right now? No, because it's just going to bring another piece into the puzzle that we're trying to fit and make work, and these kids have not had structure as much because of what's been happening in the world. So many of them have been home. I have kindergarteners who don't even know how to be in a room with other kids around, and that's not something that a high school student should be doing. So although yes, it is a positive thing in many ways, it's not a positive thing for right now, is I think what we're all trying
And I'll
to
say
say.
this,
And I think that-
when the time is right,
Yes.
I will definitely lobby and ready request that that program comes back. Because now is not the right time.
What you're all saying is not time appropriate.
Right.
And that right there is the recommendation from this group of teachers and this group of people. We have a responsibility to not only look at your recommendations, but the recommendations of the kids and the recommendations of the parents. That's how management works. And we want to make sure that that's being done. We heard you very well, and we appreciate that information. And now when we get that information out to the public, we'll see whether it's a priority and whether or not that's needed to be done. And then if we need to add to staff or change staff around to meet those needs, that's just part of the responsibility of the management of the district.
I just would recommend before you do that, seeing if you're able to come into the building and actually see how it is on a daily basis, because I'm just speaking from a teacher standpoint, and there are, every single teacher in that building that I talk to, they are going above and beyond to implement and do what needs to be done with helping with the learning loss and building in the social emotional curriculum, and I don't think a teacher in that building will want to add one more schedule change to their child's day. So I appreciate it. I think, looking full circle at community and parents and staff, but I really, as a staff member in the building and one that is working with those children, and especially some of our neediest behavioral children, I would really consider the teacher's input on adding something else to their day and the child's day, because I don't think you're going to hear a positive response on that.
And I completely agree. I'm coming off the board in December. God bless America. But I really agree that the idea, the offer, that the board should look at and should review and should see what's going on in those classrooms. Hopefully when Barb's on the board and she has some time, that she gets access to educate herself as to what's available and what's out there. Because I think it's important. And if that board member, like most board members, have a key card that they can go into any classroom and educate themselves as to what's going on within their district. And yes, they do. And just not here. Just not here. But they do. Excuse me, why are you arguing with me? Why are you arguing with me?
Because it's not true.
It is true. Who would like to say it's not true? Raise your hand if you think it's not true. There you go. Anybody else? All right. I'll prove it to be wrong. Next. The idea is that the board should allow access to these educational environments so that they can educate themselves. Right? I agree they're not allowed to evaluate the teachers. They're only there to educate themselves as to the process of what's taking place within their schools. And by doing that, that is part of their job. We look forward to that, so thank you for the offer.
I don't think she made an offer.
She did. She said we should go out and see what's going on inside the schools. If you did, you'd have a different opinion of what's available. That's an offer.
You don't just walk into a building, Mr. Brown.
You don't walk into a building. They have it, so in other districts, I will prove it and show it to you. They actually have a pass. They go through their checks. They have a pass, and they can have access. They arrange it with the school principal, and they can have their review of interactions within the school, because it's important for a board to be informed.
So
For a
do you
board
think
not to
it's
be.
actually- Do you think it's actually safe for children? Like, I'm gonna tell you, I've got the littlest child in this room, maybe not yours. I do actually think it's safe for children to have random strangers walk in the room no matter what, and it just be okay. Because I don't agree with you, and I'm gonna stand on that, and I think every person in this room will agree with me. That's not safe for the
It's
children.
not a random.
Yeah, there's not random strangers.
Yes, they are.
Why do you
Every
think
kid in this
they're-
world does not know every board
How are
member.
they? How are they?
Let's go back to where we were.
Let's stick with the agenda, please.
Well, hold on a second. She's the stakeholder. She has a right to say something, and she should be heard. That's what this meeting's
I'm
for.
not sure. Everyone heard me. I'm good.
I know, but you also get, after you've heard, now you have the discussion. So the
No,
discussion
I don't
is,
need to discuss it with you. I'm good. Thank you.
I understand that, but I'm gonna do it anyway, because I am a board member. So here's how it works.
No.
Not only, you can ignore it, that's your opinion, but my opinion is a little different. Excuse me, Larry. She asked a question, board member, it's a committee. Don't shout me down, sir. So what happens is the board itself is an elected members of NIMES to provide oversight. You guys can shout me down, but I have a right to speak.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
I'm a committee member.
Not right now, you don't.
You're taking away my First Amendment right to speak and respond? Hold on, before you go further, before you talk that's rude, don't be rude, hold on, I have the floor.
No,
So,
we're
I'm not being,
Stop.
Go ahead, Mr. Everett, please.
you don't have a right to do that. You would have no right to shut me up. You have no right, Larry. I haven't,
Mr. Brown.
I would
You don't
respond.
have the right to disrupt the
Are you gonna
meeting.
release the Kraken next? Come on, I have a right to
Please
speak. She
stop.
made a
Come
statement.
on, what?
She released,
Stop.
Larry, end it. Listen.
Let's
So,
stick with the agenda,
you can take a break, I'm just gonna have a conversation. So
No.
basically,
I'm not having a
I'm
conversation.
having a conversation.
No.
Request,
Basically,
I'm not
it's-
having a conversation.
I am.
at the request of the stakeholders, they're asking you not to speak.
No,
Yeah.
they don't have that right. Sorry.
What do you mean they don't have a right? It's
They
America.
don't have a right to tell me not to speak.
You just said it's America.
It is America.
So I have the right, Mr. Everett, please move on with our agenda.
No, hold on a second. Wait, we have, this is a
Mr.
committee of the
Everett,
board.
please, with the agenda.
Please, this is a committee. She made a statement. It should be addressed.
Go on, we have the next meeting.
Mr.
Everett,
Guys,
please.
why are you silencing the idea they're having a conversation? Please, give us, why don't you just let me speak? Give me 30
Well,
seconds.
the elementary school uses SEL.
Give me the 30 seconds. No, Mr. Everett, please. Mr. Everett, please. 30 seconds. I asked for 30 seconds.
Excuse me,
Wait,
he's talking.
why are they sending in the Kraken?
Please stop being so
Listen,
rude.
it's very simple.
You need to, excuse me, stay
It's very
seated.
simple. I am, I'm moving
Mr.
forward.
Everett, continue.
It's very simple. Hold on.
Mr. Everett,
So one of the things
It's
that
very
we do
simple.
in
Wait,
middle
why is
school
this on?
involve-
Mr. Everett, please. Mr. Everett, it's unfair.
Mr.
Mr.
Brown,
It's
I've been
unfair.
asked to speak.
Show respect.
Mr. Bradley, please speak to the meeting.
By your board.
I've been
By your
told
board.
that the people want to know.
By your board.
Mr. Bradley,
You don't
It's a board
supervise.
meeting.
Mr. Everett, continue or else the meeting's gonna be over.
It's not over.
Yes, it will be over. I'm running the meeting.
You're not running the meeting.
I am running the meeting. You are not God, I am running the meeting. Excuse me, we follow the agenda.
The Kraken
Or the
has been
meeting is
released.
over.
Relax.
I am
She made a
relaxing.
statement, I'm making an
Mr.
announcement.
Everett, would you please
I have a
stop?
right to make a statement.
Meeting is over.
It's not over. You guys can leave, but it's not
Meeting
over.
is over. Then you have your own meeting by
And
yourself.
talk to yourself.
How rude is this? You guys are boycotting my right to speak as a board member at a board meeting.
You think you're allowed to supervise what Mr. Everett and Mr. Sevlin and Ms. Holland do?
We're having a conversation.
You're completely wrong.
You're
You're
ch-
completely wrong.
You have shut down the meeting, Larry, because you don't want to hear what I have to say. You don't want to hear what I have to say, so you're going to shut down an entire meeting.
Can I ask a question?
You can answer the question, sure.
How is it there's not a board member running the meeting as a chair?
Because Larry wants a silent difference of opinion.